shining in my face. Forgive me for that too. Premium account on X. No, I don't want to do that. Remove that. Remove. I don't. They won't. They won't allow me to do. They won't allow me to do a premium account on X. You got to have like 10,000 followers, and 10,000 people are not following me. I don't have no jokes and no, antics that people would follow me. So hey, everyone, I thank you all for tuning in. It's Jamil Salib Zamir, Manning, South Carolina, still at the at the remote location. Thanking everyone for tuning in. Sometimes I just got to sit and meditate and focus my mind on what's really important and focus my mind where I'm going and what I hope to do. I got two cameras running right now. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in. Again, it's Political Talk today. I sure hope y'all will give me at least an hour to try to go over some things with you all. I don't want to call any names, but I thank everyone for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in on Instagram. Um, I want to make this kind of, it's all political, but then I want to bring in some biblical, spiritual, because I believe that we need that. I want to say at the outstart, though, that the position that I'm running for, the school board seat, that's District 9, I want people to really understand that I'm not running for this position to ruffle feathers. There is no us against them when it comes to your community. There is no us against them when it comes to your family. There is no us against them when it comes to the school board or any political position. It's just us. I have no issues with Seth Land. I don't know the man. I don't know any of the lands, any of them. So I'm not coming from the perspective of talking like that. Um, blessings, blessings. Yes, salute. I'm not coming from that perspective. I'm coming from their perspective, trying to get my son to join, my youngest son to join the Air Force as well. I want him to do 4 years. All of my children are military based except one, two. The rest of my boys, I have 7 boys. 2 of them took the business route, and the rest are military. I have one girl, and she took the business route as well. But my youngest son just graduated. I would like for him to join the Air Force as well. I do have one son who was joined the Air Force without a tattoo. He was joined on and pursuing an elite force, and he got a tattoo, and it showed above his neck, Mr. Miller, and he got put out of the Air Force. So I really would like to caution young people about all these tattoos. Put them in a place that's not seen. We have a shirt on, and he had to do the Navy, and so he's retired now. He's a retired veteran from the Navy. He damaged both of his knees. But I want to get back into this. I had no issue with Seth Land. I don't know him. I don't want to get on a debating platform. If you ask me about politics, I'll tell you that I have a lot to learn. But we've won already because we've proven that we can do something that we set our minds out to do. Many of you know 3 years ago, I was on my deathbed with this heart issue. 3 open heart surgeries. My chest has been bust open 3 times, and I still suffer from memory loss and a lot of things. But I made a promise that if I were to make it through this, I would take on endeavors that I did not take on that I should have. And God was steering me towards politics. So I tried to become to sit in the next council seat. And that was I got kind of tricked out of that one. And then I was asked would I consider running for a school board seat. And I'm fine with that because if you look at my pamphlet, my achievements are all with children. My achievements are all, I didn't put any of my um, academic achievements on the flyer. And the reason I did not do that, because those academic achievements, whether it's a master's, a bachelor's, or associates, do not guarantee that you're going to be this great council person. For the simple fact, they are great achievements, but for the simple fact that you've already dedicated yourself following a certain line of authority. Therefore, if you see something wrong in this school board system, you may not address it. You may not talk about it because you feel a good soldier just sits and takes orders. I beg to differ about that. Maybe you should check out the Nuremberg trials in Germany with those Nazis who killed people based on an order, as well as in Africa and other places, as well as in America. They were just never put on trial. So I want to get into this political thing. As always, I want to ask God for His mercy. I'm saying prayer. You know, I don't close both of my eyes when I'm saying prayer, but I thank Almighty God for His grace and mercy and for entering us into another realm of thought, another realm of possibility. I thank Him for allowing us to show the young, to show those who may have made wrong turns in their lives that you can come back from a difficult situation and be a productive part of your community. Every sound of my voice understands that even though I am aggressive in my words, that I am matter of fact in my words, and if I say something, I mean it, I'm going to act on it. That this is not a sign of rebellion against a system that has been set up for the benefit of the people. It's just that in that system, sometimes people go astray, especially when they've been in a position for a long period of time. So I ask God to reach out to people who are not accustomed to listening to podcasts, who have lost their focus because of these 6-second bites that they are accustomed to, that we will begin to listen, ask questions, correct when we're wrong. Because as I told another political associate, Clarendon County is going to be under its most bloody school year since I've been in Clarendon County. This is going to be a bloody year. And the blood is not going to spill just by people shooting and all this stuff. The blood is going to spill by people being secretly bullied, secretly uh, taunted, harassed. We're fighting against the Title IX now, where in Clarendon County and surrounding counties, and I think the entire world of scholastics who get money from the school system, that men, boys, and girls will be utilizing the same restrooms. Many of you don't know about these things because no one told you. And I find that a lot of our political figures don't think that the people are important enough to be advised about the things that are occurring in their communities that will affect their children. So I took a blueprint from Fawn Petalino. I am a soft Democrat. I'm not a Republican, and I would prefer to be a conservative, to be honest with you. But I have to read up on that some more, or to not be affiliate at all. But this seat, the seat for a school board member, is nonpartisan. I love that, which means that you work with, rather than Democrat, Republicans, or whomever, you work for the good of the community, for the good of the school system, for the good of the children, for the best result. So I am not in a fight with political parties. I'm here to learn, to offer what I feel the community is telling me. I learn by being quiet, asking questions, and listening. So my campaign is under the umbrella of the one that listens, and the one that does not take the people's concerns for granted. Okay? So I'm not in a war with Kevin Johnson. I'm not in a war with any of the Johnsons. I'm not in a war with the school board. I'm here. I'm not in a war with Seth Land. I don't know any of them. I'm here green as a new face with a clean slate, and I'm asking you all for 3 years to learn the position, to execute the position in accordance to the well-being and the needs of the community after hearing their concerns. And after making decisions, sharing that information. That's what I learned from Fawn Pedalino. Always open to answer questions and always sharing what was done in the Senate. All right, so let's get into some things. I got my tablet here. Uh Again, I've opened up my campaign. I had no idea you had to go through all of these hoops with the ethics committee. You got to file all of these different, you can't, the money that you make has to be this, and this, or the money that you raise. And I love this stuff. So the next time when someone needs to know, I can help them like people are helping me. But I will say this, I'm very disappointed in a lot of people that I ask for help, people my color, who uh, refuse to help because it's a in their mindset is always a us against them versus them scenario, and they want the top spot all the time. And anything that might disrupt that top spot, they're going to fight against it, right? So I want to go into this first now because I want to read to you the requirements of the position holder in a school board. Now, I want to explain to you something about the separation of districts, that the senator separated the districts in 9 districts. He and Fawn Pedalino and the board, I assume, well, I know agreed upon that because it's lawful. And I hope I'm not saying that the wrong way, because again, I'm not in competition with anybody. Lord have mercy. Not like that. Not like that. Let's go. I want to take you into Romans 10:14 through 15 of the King James Version of the Bible. This is our base. And it reads, and I close my prayer. My prayers, God forgive me. I open them and sometimes I don't close them. I'm off my soapbox. My prayer is that seeing what happened to my nephew, he was bullied in school by a gang. He never got his education straight. He feared going to school. He said out of his own mouth that he felt like there was no hope. Smart young man. And actually, if he had found the other side of himself, most of those guys that were bullying him would be dead. And as I said before, a lot of the murders that are occurring are self-defense murders because people are being robbed and people are being bullied. And the reason I said that this will be a bloody school year is because people will be bullied. And I told you about my life in school my last year when I made about someone's underwear and it got taken out of context and they all piled up against me to fight me, and I had to walk to and from school by myself through Bellwood. Every day I had a 38 caliber handgun on my person in school that I had no doubt that I would use if I had to, but I ran away from the trouble as opposed to using the gun. But I had no problem with using it. I'm just young like these young folks. That's what's happening in our school system. Fights, as you saw down in Summoning, the young man who was being bullied, and he would take it to the principal and it was brushed off. And you, in your mind, you're trying to make it look like every child is the same, but they are not. We must address all of these issues with our children and be fair in our eventual outcome of choices on how to deal with these situations. Because the situation in Summoning made it all the way to the news where the young man was being bullied. He was telling the principal, he was telling the teachers, they literally ignored it until it got violent. That is still going on today in some areas. But if we make it to where children can talk to the school board members, to the principals, and that information can be passed from the teachers to the principals to the counselors, to a concern before the school board and we can address it and put in place the necessary things. But you cannot do that if you don't think the children are important enough to carry out that type of strategic plan to go from point A, B, C, D, and E. All right. Romans 10:14-15 of the King James Version of the Bible. How then shall they call on him in whom they have not believed? And how shall they believe in him of whom they have not heard? And how shall they hear without a preacher? And how shall they preach except they be sent? And it is written, how beautiful are the feet of them that preach the gospel of peace and bring glad tidings of good things. As I said in the beginning, this is peace. Although I think there's still a separation between church and state, morals is all you need to have in order to run a proper organization in a school setting. Morals. But if in your mind you already think, oh, they're black, they act like that. And some people think that way. Oh, he's gay, he acts like that. Oh, they're white, that's just the way they are. That's a girl, that's just the way women are. If you're not on a fair playing field with all students, how can you be fair in the community of school? So my platform is one of listening to concerns, being fair with proposals, and being transparent in talking about what we talked about. But my biggest concern is that as voters, we are ignorant voters who are voting based upon personalities and based upon who has the most people. We are easily influenced to vote this way or that way based upon political affiliation, association, without the knowledge of what the Democratic Party has done, what the Republican Party has done, and what all of the different titles that go along with conservative, nonpartisan, partisan, liberal, all of these different circles of people. So the first thing we want to do in my campaign, and my campaign is the community campaign, the first thing we want to do is make sure that people understand voting, what you're voting for, and who you're voting for. So I want to go into this first. We're not going to take long. We're 18 minutes in. Thank you all for tuning in too. I have an article here from greatschools.org. And the title of this particular part I want to read, what do school boards do? I want to make this very clear to you, what you're voting for. We got to become educated in what we're voting for, because even in the political election for presidency, we're voting on emotion. And emotions can get you killed. Emotions can destroy your future. Emotions can lead you blindly into a situation that is not to your advantage. So I don't play sides with people like that. I don't. Anyone knows me will tell you that I don't. What do school boards do? Communities typically elect 3 to 5 or 7 trustees to oversee the local school district and make certain the desires of the community are met. We have a 9-seat election. It's unprecedented. I don't think it's ever been done before, having 9 seats. I think the seats in a school board usually matches the seats on a council, county. And I don't know how many there are. Maybe there are 9. I don't know. The school board's primary responsibilities are to set the vision and goals for the district. How do you set the visions and goals for a district that you are not invested in? How do you do that? Two, adopt policies that give the district's directions to set priorities and achieve its goals. Three, hire and evaluate the superintendent. What I fear is happening, especially in Clarendon County, is that we're on a literal good old boy system of putting people in places that we like. May not be qualified, may be qualified, may not have a desire for the people, may not have a desire for proper growth, but they're in a group. And you know what I'm talking about. They're in a clique type setting where you see them always hanging together. And they're taking over all the county and town positions. And they will see to it that their people are comfortable in one of these positions. And those of us who are ignorant to how the system works will look at them starry-eyed like they're better, they're greater, there's something that we can never attain, we can never be. So we got a community of young people who think that their job is to grow up, smoke weed, do drugs, have sex, join gangs, terrorize the community, and die at an early age, and work a job 9 to 5, but never to elevate themselves because they think it's them against us. And this is the image that we have pushed in politics and religion. Everywhere we've pushed this idea of them against us. So the people who can help you because you're not with them don't help you. We got to break this system before it breaks the entire town. This selfish, good old boy mindset cannot sustain itself. It can't. Because when the people disengage, then the people start to make their own world inside of a world. Then what the police say doesn't matter. Because the people in the street know that some of the police, some of them are doing the biddings of these people who are in authority and not what is best for the people. They're talking about the school board to hire and evaluate the superintendent, adopt and oversee the annual budget, manage the collective bargaining process for employees of the district. Typical school board meeting will include many business items, such as approving the school calendar, adopting curriculum, overseeing construction, and approving contracts with outside vendors. A successful school board will balance discussions of the seemingly tedious business of running the district while paying close attention to the district's priorities for academic achievement. That's a lot. Most of you done checked out already. You bored already. So you just vote in the person that you like and the person you think you can trust. And a lot of times, those people don't like you and they're not trustworthy. They buy land, they hire contractors, they rent properties from people in their circle. That's monopolizing. If you're not at the school board meetings, then you have no clue what people are debating on. They're debating on why did we have to buy this land? Why did you change the name of that school? Why did you hire these people to do that? Aren't they some family member of yours? Aren't they related to you? The people control everything. Rather it's violently or rather it's diplomatically. We have voting power. So, what I'm asking for us to do, don't vote for me because you think I'm more qualified for the job. I'm green. I have a lot to learn. Vote for me because you think that I will do a good job in the position after learning. Give me the 3 years. Give the candidates the allotted amount of time to do better. I want to thank people, and I'm not associated with this lady in any way, with the exception that when they have an event, they invite. When we have an event, we invite. As we invited Senator Kevin, Senator Fawn, Senator past Senator Kim. We invite everyone to our events. But a lot of these political events you don't know anything about, and they're discussing your children and your future. And they will get angry at you and me for questioning them about matters in which we should be allowed to question them about. So there must be a change. Okay, let me read this. Signs of an effective school board member. Here are signs of a school board member focused on moving the school district forward and educating all students to meet higher standards. Let me say this. I started at Manning High School when it was brand new. We graduated class of 87. This is a true story. I was a class clown. In my 10th grade year, I joked around so much that I failed in my 10th grade year. I didn't believe that was possible. But that meant that all of my 10th grade friends were moving to the 11th grade. But the start of that next year, I would be in the 10th grade. It broke my heart when I realized that I failed. I saw the report card. It broke my heart even more when I knew I couldn't take that report card to my mother. So I tore the report card up, told my mom I lied to her, told her I didn't get the report card, I owed money. Got back in school that next year in a 10th grade homeroom with all my class in 11th grade and lied that entire year. Oh, I'm in the 11th grade. I'm just in the 10th grade homeroom. But I made up my mind I was going to buckle down. I accepted the fact that I was going to graduate behind my class, but I'm going to buckle down. And I worked so hard in my 10th grade year that when I got to my 11th grade year, I got called to the superintendent's office. Mr. Wilson, you got too many credits. We're going to have to boost you up to the 12th grade. In my 12th grade year, I had so many credits, school credits, that I came to school after lunch, didn't have to be there at all. I only had one class, and that was like study, what do you call it? Study hall. So I opted to work with mentally challenged children. So I worked with them the rest of the school year, and I fell in love with helping children learn. I graduated with the 12th grade class. My mom, she wasn't crazy, but she let it slide. But I graduated from Manning High School in 87 with my class. That was my personal struggle, and I struggled with that. But I don't think our students have to struggle alone like that. On top of having a relationship and finding out my lady was cheating on me with my friends, just real life struggles in school. But now the children are being pat on the back. I told you about my nephew. Just, it'll be all right. It'll be all right. It's not going to be all right until we make it all right. Fawn Pedalino, State Representative Fawn Pedalino, requested an investigation into the school system. A lot of things that would have gotten out of control were found early. because people were taking money they shouldn't have been accepting because they didn't do what they were supposed to do. And a lot of other things were out of place. But those things were intercepted and people paid back money. And people had to do some things in order to keep their positions. But that's because her concern for the system and her tenacity to ask questions and her zeal to go forward, even though people disagreed with it, mattered. Now, many of us are still on this us against them type mentality and won't give credit where credit is due. But that's the type of mindset that I want to have. But signs of an effective school board. Then I'm going to read to you how the school board is set up and how the voting will be done. A clear vision for the district. They set the vision and goals and measure the success of the district and superintendent against the goals. Communicate their actions to the community. This is what I'm talking about. No school board member ever communicated their actions to us, the people, the community. You go to a school board meeting, they're talking, somebody else talk, they bring their lawyers, they go into session, they come out, you leave. You have no clue what just happened. You just put your trust in people that you think have the best interest of the children in their minds. And some do, but most don't. Work as a team. They collaborate well with others and are respectful of other board members and superintendents. As I said in the beginning, my intentions are not to come and ruffle feathers. I don't know enough to ruffle feathers. I can't hold a school board seat in ignorance, acting like I know. See, that's how we have survived. We act like we know. We act like we know. And we use that terminology, act like you know. Fake it until you make it. I'm not going to fake it, and I'm not going to act like I know. Anybody that I deal with will tell you sometimes they're uncomfortable around me because of the level of questions that I ask and the amount of questions that I ask. But after graduating high school, I went directly to New York. And I went to New York to live, but I went there with the intentions of being a thug and hanging out with my partner, Tyrone Thames. We were going to be rappers, and we did make it to that degree. But I ended up working in a lawyer's firm, Bauer and Gardner, in a law firm because of my brother-in-law's mother, Lila Fulton. God rest her lovely, kind, sweet soul. And Nathaniel, my uncle, who started buying me sweaters like Cosby. I started wearing Cosby sweaters. And I started going to this law firm talking tough. And I met Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Guatemalans, Dominicans, whites, blacks, and Spanish, and all Italians, Jews, because it was a Jewish law firm. All of these people who encouraged me to hit the books. So I smashed the books. I smashed them. And I never stopped smashing them. So education, I understand its importance. Whether you choose to go to college or not, I understand. Some people stop school and stop reading. So they devolve into animals. This is all true. So many people were set in my path to help me succeed. But while I was succeeding, there were so many people calling me a bum, crazy. I'm doing, and that stuck. And people thought I was that because I was different. So I understand gay, lesbian, Spanish who can't speak English, black boys who don't want to join gangs, shy boys, shy girls. I understand the dynamic. So work as a team. They collaborate rate well with others and are respectful of other board members and superintendents. Adopt a fiscal sound district budget. They pay attention to finances and regularly monitor the fiscal health of the district. This is one area of major concern to me because I always lived on a small budget. And my children didn't know they were poor till somebody told them they were poor. And I still live on a small budget, but I understand how to manage it, a small amount of money. But unfortunately, when some people get a large amount of money, they think they can take some and nobody won't know it's missing. But thanks to people like Farm Petalino, others who say, whoa, something's not right. Now we can check those people who think they can take a little bit out of the kitty, right? Thank you to all of the people on the school board, present school board, because the district is still running, which means something is being done correctly, right? Let's move on. Focus on what's best for all students, not just the ones you like. I'm gonna tell you something else. We're 36 minutes in. I always wanted to be on the AB honor roll. But the very best of my efforts only got me C's and D's and a few B's, but never AB. But I was trying so hard and I thought my efforts would get me focused. My efforts would get me noticed. It never did. So I began to feel disheartened about school, man. F school, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing my best. And other students who were getting A's and B's, I couldn't compete with them, with the best of myself. I'm saying that for a reason, because I believe a lot of students are being overlooked because they don't reach the caliber of what some of these upper echelon folk think it should be. But these people who work for that C and that D, I'm working my board over here. This thing keeps cutting off because I have more to read. Those people that work for those C's and D's, some of them are really A students in their effort, if that makes any sense. So I was overlooked. So when I got to Morris College, I worked hard. And then when I got to Central Carolina, I was on the dean's list. But in the midst of being on the dean's list, I wrote an article about race that the teacher felt I shouldn't have written. And the teacher accused me of plagiarism. Because they disagreed with me, they accused me of plagiarism, thinking that I would not fight it. Oh, he's just a student, he won't fight it. I took it to the dean. I argued my case and I won. But I would have never known any of these things, the tenacity, the zeal, the efforts to try, if I didn't see people like me attempting to do things that I thought were only for specific people. Do you understand me? Now in county council, there's talk that county council in Clarendon County, there's secretive talk that they want people to have certain degrees before they can be a council member. And they're going to do the same if they can for a student board and everything else, because they're going to try to put it on a level that most people won't even attempt to achieve. This is politics. Focus on what's best for the student. If someone would have encouraged me a little bit more, like they encouraged me in New York at the lawyer's firm, study, you're a smart young man, study. Me smart? Yeah, ran back down south with all my knowledge, and everybody just about that Nigger think he's smart. Who he think he is? White? I got some neighbors who he think he is, the mayor? Who he think he is? Because I try to keep my yard clean and I don't want noise and strange people all up and down beside my house. That's a problem for some. Politics. Man, focus on what's best for the students. Finally, advocate all the local, state, and national levels for public education. They take advantage of opportunities to communicate the needs of public schools to other levels of government and advocate for strong public schools. We must advocate for strong public schools. We must. I'm telling you this stuff so that you will be an educated voter. Rather, you're voting for me or for someone else. Educated voter. Signs of an effective school board member, then we're going to close. If you notice any of the following signs, it's time to find some signs of an ineffective school board member. Ineffective. If you notice any of the following signs, it's time to find some new candidates to run for your local board. Continually focuses on one issue or talk aimlessly at meetings. Doesn't conduct him or herself in a respectful, collaborative manner in public. Comes to meetings unprepared. Rubber stamps all the superintendent's proposals without asking the hard questions. Everybody just go along. Yep, I'm with that. I'm with. Don't ask no hard questions. And the nerve of you as a parent to ask a question. And listen to those who know how to filibuster a question. They just ramble on aimlessly about nothing. And you say, oh, okay, all right, because you don't want to sound ignorant. But why not just say, what does all that mean, what you just said? I don't understand. A word you just said didn't mean nothing to me. Micromanages. Rather than focusing attention on district-wide policies, you focus on one thing. Use his position on the school board as an opportunity to put forth a political agenda with little relevance to students' achievements. That sound familiar to y'all? I'm going to close on that, and I want to get to this. As many of you may not know this, but there are actually 9 school board seats that are being challenged and run for this year. 9 school board seats. I'm going to read them out to you. School Board District 1 has no challenger. School Board District 2 has no challenger. School Board District 3 has a challenger, so there will be a runoff for that. School Board District 4 has 3 people running for the same position. School Board District 5 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people running for the same position. School Board District 6 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 people running for that position. School Board District 7 has 2 people running. School Board District 8 has 3 people running. And School Board District 9, which is my district, it's myself. I'm on that. You can go to voter. You could go to South scvotes.sc.gov and see the names on the list. Right now it's myself and Seth Land, but some people may come in later on. But all of the names you may see running for school board, make sure you're looking at the right district. It's been separated into districts. And I think it would have been better if they were to say wards, like the 3rd ward, the 4th ward, the 5th ward, instead of districts. But now it's just Clarendon County School System with 9 different districts for the same school system. I am in District 9. District 9, you can look on the internet and see what that district consists of. It consists of the King Street Highway, Raccoon Road, Old Camp Road, Greeleyville Highway, Brewington Road, Cecil Road. It's an area that I will be campaigning in for that seat. And that's how it'll be with all of the candidates. I want to be transparent in what I'm telling you so that you know what you're voting for, who you're voting for. I'm totally green, but I'm ambitious and I'm excited and I'm thankful to God for allowing it so you all can see the person that you believe through talking is such a horrible person. If you have a toothache and you want your tooth pulled, do you ask whether they're a Christian or a Muslim, whether they're gay or straight, or do you just go to a dentist and get your tooth pulled? See how things are important only when we make them important? A Jewish man operated on my heart 3 times. He ain't slack off on the operation and said, oh, that's a black guy, let him die. You know why he didn't? Because the more people who die on the operating table, the less money that hospital will get in donations and fundings to do what they're doing. So they want to make sure that you survive. Same thing with the school system. And unfortunately, when the school system is not up to par, some people agree to cook the books, give the children certificates of completion instead of uh, diplomas. And according to statistics, and we'll talk about that later, children are leaving school not able to read on a 6th grade level and not able to comprehend on a 3rd grade level. So that's why you got all these ignorant parents and children out there, parents who back their children in their ignorance and think that these are the only answer or guns are the only answer. We need our young people. So this is what we're doing. Thank everyone for tuning in on Instagram. Thank everyone who tuned in on my platforms. I'm on 4 platforms now on Facebook, on LinkedIn, I'm on, and on YouTube, I'm on. Yes, sir. David Maddock, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for all of your responses. Hey, Miss Ruby, how are you, ma'am? I pray that the Spirit is supporting me, Mr. Matlock, because that's what I want. Because I want to do this based upon what I believe God guided me to do. This has been a lot. I'm 55 years old. Uh, just have all of these health issues, but I fight through them because I see all of our children are falling short. The ones who make it are snatched up by this group who says that you're better than the rest. So the ones who aren't as better are being left out there to survive the only way they know how. We need our educated to come down to the people, not to trick them, not to give them a party or a park, but to help them understand that, okay, God has given me more in terms of intellect than you, but you have it too. Christ says, suffer the little children to come unto me, inasmuch as the least of these. Y'all remember those quotes? Let's begin to conduct ourselves morally so that we can help all people. I never ask a man what his religious affiliations is. I could care less. If it's something of value, let's work with that. If you say something that's off the wall that I disagree with that. We agree to disagree. God may close the door, but there's always a window of opportunity. Let's take it. Young people, don't count yourself out. All of you crazy, uh, substance addicted young people who think that the guns are the answer to all your problems. I mean, you just want to shoot everything. There's a consequence to that. Don't count yourself out. God says that the best are out there in the streets, and the church will be judged first, not the street, the church. What have you done, and how have you done it? Thank you all for tuning in. I think I covered everything. This is Jamil Salib Zamir, Manning, South Carolina, running for school district seat 9. And we have already won because we are putting into place, learning things we did not know. And when you step out, there is always someone there to help you. And there has been people there unexpectedly who have helped me. They have helped me. They send me little tidbits here and there. Have you done this? Have you done that? The legal way to do it is this. This is what you need to do. And this is what's happening. This is no trick. See, when you do so much dirt that you become paranoid, that you think somebody's trying to trick you, when you've tricked people, when you've hustled and lied, and now you are afraid that that's coming back to you. So now you think everybody up to something. That's your paranoia. You deal with that. I don't work for Republicans or Democrats. I try to work for God and for the good of the people and the good of humanity. That's why a nonpartisan position, which means you work with whomever for the greater good, in a nutshell, is where we are. Don't force me to be Republican or force me to be Democrat. Let me be a child of God and do what I'm capable and willing to do. It's no different than being forced into a gang, being forced into a church. We'll help you if you join our church. If not, we're going to sanction you out. We're going to make sure you don't succeed. Let's begin to turn this thing around. And if Jamil does not seem to be getting the job done, well, Mr. Land will always be there. Capable, qualified, and with the finances. But let's give other citizens an opportunity to try, along with other educated individuals, to learn so that we can be productive in this system. And be mindful of those who try to keep the little man out. They don't like you. They don't respect you. You will be amazed how some of these politicians talk to people in private. You would be appalled. Just evil to the core and spoiled, rotten. I said it, so it's supposed to be so, because I said it. And very dangerous. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll be talking again very soon. I look forward to meeting more people and talking to people personally. And if you have a question for me, ask it. And I'm going to be totally honest with you about it. I'm new to this. I don't know the ins and outs of it. I just know that children are not being treated fairly and never have, literally never have been. Because we're not all the same. We all can't run the same speed, think the same way, get the same answers. Some have total recall and some have to study all night long to get a C where this person has total recall. And you're not benefiting a child by giving them a participation trophy to make them feel like they are just like the person who got the big trophy. Let's attack the issues where they are and deal with them on the level that they are. I learned that by working with mentally challenged children at Manning High School. I would teach them something one day and come back the next day and they don't even remember me. Thank you all for tuning in. Jamil Salib Zamir in Manning, South Carolina. Thank you so much, David Matlock. Thank you for your words, sir. Thank you, Chairman Ed Miller. And always thank you, Ms. Ruby Johnson, for always commenting and giving me the inside scoop with community stuff. Sometimes you don't know who's saying what, but if you got the right people, they're going to let you know. So I thank you. My campaign is open. I'm sending out requests for donations now. There is an event on Saturday that I would like to have my postcards to be able to pass out. And let me tell you something. This upper echelon of elite folk, they treat you like garbage, man. You got to have a strong resolve to be around certain people because they will, who you? What you doing here? Ha! And all of these little bully tactics. And those are the main ones who are always claiming that they're being bullied, but they are the bulls. We got to break that up. So I straighten my back and poke out my chest. And Mr. Miller, this shirt is my son's shirt. I am not ex-military. This is my son's shirt. This is a gift he gave to me. Um, I hope you're still on. If not, I'll relay that message to you. Thank you so much for your comment. But yeah, my children are like that. They have, you know, thank you all for tuning in. There are people in small towns who think it's them against us. And as a people, after all we've been through and mistreated and not allowed to have certain things, it really just disturbs my spirit that our people, Black people, will use the same type of tactics to stop other people from achieving what they have achieved. It's horrible. It's disheartening. It's a fight that I never thought I would be involved in, but I am against your own people, the elite. But Jesus came after the people in the street, and he sent all of his apostles in after the people in the street. Thank you all for tuning in. Jamil leaves me a very good 57 minutes, Manning, South Carolina.